If you spend this summer just playing travel ball, you are wasting the most important developmental window of your high school career. And I know because I did exactly that. And I'm gonna show you exactly what to do instead. Every summer of my high school career looked the exact same. I woke up, I went to my summer game, I came home, I maybe lifted, I maybe hit. No plan and no system. And definitely no real direction behind any of it. Just travel ball games back to back, thinking that is making me better. Because obviously playing the game means I'm getting better at it, right? Not exactly. I never once sat myself down and asked myself, what do I actually need to improve? And to make sure that I'm hitting on all my deficiencies. To get faster, to get bigger, to get stronger. And how to specifically move my exit velocity before fall ball starts. I just played. And every fall I showed up with the same numbers that I had in the spring. Same size, same speed, same tools, and same player. And when you get to college, you're gonna realize one thing. People around you actually developed during the summertime. Because when I showed up, everyone was bigger, faster, and stronger. And I was sitting there wondering why. Because I thought I was putting work in the summer by playing. But it was never development, it was just baseball games. If you're a junior or senior listening to this, and your schedule is just full of travel ball games, with no actual real developmental plan behind it, you're on the exact same path that I was on, and I need you to listen to this video very clearly. Playing games does not develop you. Here's what most players do day one of the summer. They wake up, maybe they go to the gym, they do whatever they feel like, and then they hit after. Then they play a travel game the next day, and they didn't go as hard this day because they play. And they feel productive. They go to bed thinking it was a good day. And then they do the same exact thing the next day, and then the next day. And by the time their first showcase comes around in July, their exit velo is in the exact same place that it was when school ball ended. That's definitely not laziness, but that's exactly what happens when you confuse activity with development. Showing up does not equal having a plan. And that's why you confuse playing games with actually getting better. The players whose numbers jump off the screen at these showcases are not the ones who played the most games. They're the one who spent this window actually building something. And I'm gonna break down that something in 3 phases, so you can actually apply this to your summer. Each phase is 30 days, and phase 1 is called build. Most players skip this entirely, but this is the most important phase of your entire summer. Your entire focus this phase is on eccentric loading. This is slowing the muscle down under load. This is primarily in the weight room, and it's teaching your body to absorb force before it expresses it later on. This is slowing the muscle down under tension. We do stuff like eccentric squats, eccentric single leg squats as well. This is slow, controlled movement with heavy loads. This feels boring and it doesn't feel explosive, and that's why most players just skip this phase and go straight to the athletic training. But here's what's actually happening here. Your body's building the foundation that everything else sits on. Your tendons are getting stronger, your nervous system is learning to handle load, and your muscles are actually developing the capacity that they're gonna need later on to produce force. Skip this phase and the next 2 don't work. Simple. And when you hit during this phase, you need to focus on one simple deficiency at a time, not 30 different mechanical cues. That's one drill, one feel, and one cue at a time. Phase 2 is what I call the peak phase. The peak phase goes from eccentric loading to isometric work. This typically consists of pausing at the bottom of all your movements and holding positions under load. This teaches your body to produce force from a dead stop. Pause squats, iso holds, planks. This is where your nervous system begins to fire differently. And the strength that you built in phase 1 actually starts to convert. Your exit velo will start moving in this phase, if you built the foundation correctly in phase 1. Phase 3 is what I call dominate. This is what everything you've been building is working towards. During the dominate phase, you transition into concentric expression. Explosive movements, maximum velocity, jumps, sprints, bounds. Everything's fast and extremely violent. This is where the strength from phase 1 and the nervous system efficiency from phase 2 finally express themselves at maximum speed. And this is where your exit velocity peaks. Perfect and in time for your showcases. 7 days before your showcases, you cut your training volume in half. You keep moving fast, but just do a little bit less of it. And here's a piece of summer development that nobody talks about enough. And this truly does separate the player who comes back in the fall looking a completely different person than the one who's the exact same. And that is nutrition. And the biggest mistake I see from high school players when it comes to nutrition is simply not tracking your calories or your macros. What they eat feels like enough. Nate, I'm eating so much, but I can't seem to gain weight. That's all bullshit. You're not tracking your calories. You have a protein shake after training and you eat a decent dinner. And you wonder why your weight is the exact same after 90 days. Listen, dude, you cannot build a bigger, faster, or stronger body on guesswork. It's just not possible. You have to give it what it needs in order to adapt, and you do that with numbers. Specifically for protein, because you probably need to gain weight, 1.2 grams per pound of body weight every single day. That is pretty aggressive. That's pretty aggressive, but it's probably what you're gonna have to do in order to pack on that muscle. And you're gonna need to be in a plus 250 caloric surplus. This adds roughly 0.5 pounds of body weight per week. That's not a massive bulk, but it's a very safe way to pack on weight consistently. So track it and download a tracking app and log everything you eat for the first 30 days. I promise you, the first time you actually start tracking your meals in a full day of eating, you're gonna realize you've been eating significantly less than you thought. Now let me guess, you love summer ball because there's less pressure than school ball. You can go out there and you can feel free, and you probably play a lot better during summer ball. That's not really a good thing, it's actually a problem, and that means we gotta harness our mental game now before school ball ramps up again. So metrics, your swing, your results, none of it matters if this piece right here is broken. So here are 3 tools I'm gonna give you right now to actually harness the mental game. Tool 1 is what I call the identity anchor. Before you compete, hell, even in everyday life, you need a specific phrase that tells your brain exactly who you are and who you want to be. Something like, I am explosive and I trust my work. I used to tell myself I'm too fast, too strong, and too focused. Present tense and specific for you. Say it before every pitch and say it this summer until it's automatic. Next is a pre-AB routine. Every AB needs to look the exact same from the outside, regardless of what's happening on the inside. Same breathing, same physical routine. So come up with a physical sensation you want to feel every time you step in the box. For me, it was the grip on my bat. I would grab that grip and I would tell myself, man, this bat feels good in my hands. Then pick up one focal point. It could be your breath. Again, it could be grabbing the grip. It could be part of the barrel. And then you can apply your self-talk and your identity anchor. Finally is a reset system. Look, you're gonna fail. The players who get recruited aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones that reset the fastest after they do. You need to have some physical cue that ends your spiraling. For me, after I struck out and I felt myself mentally spiraling, I would clap my hands and that would signify something. The moment that clap was over, I'm on to the next. No ifs, ands, or buts, whatever happened. Because the only thing that truly matters is the next second, the next opportunity. Everything I went through in this video is a foundational part of the Close the Gap protocol. And these are just a few ways we develop players inside of it. And we go way more in depth on all those pillars inside the program. The 3-phase training system, the nutritional targets, the mechanics for the stair-step method, and the mental performance tools. All these pillars work together simultaneously inside the program and built specifically around each and every single player, unique to them. And honestly, that's exactly what I wish somebody had done for me when I was in high school, especially around my junior year when I was trying to get recruited. Instead, I legitimately wasted so much time just playing summer ball for no reason, with no development behind it, and honestly, I think I got worse at baseball because I ended up developing the yips during summer ball. The players inside the Close the Gap protocol do not guess anymore. They don't hope, and they follow a system that's built specifically for them. And they test every single week so they know what's moving in the right direction or not. Listen, summer is about to begin and the window is open right now, but it won't stay open forever. If you're an uncommitted junior or senior who's ready to take their development seriously and take advantage of that window, you can apply for the Close the Gap protocol in the description below and book a call with me. From there, we'll see if you're the right fit. Spots are limited. Stand out and don't settle.